All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to go ahead and call to order the regular City Council meeting, virtual meeting for Monday, February 8th, 2021. If we could say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
And please remember to state your city, county, and state. Lanyon?
Here, Williamston, Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Pratt?
Present.
This meeting
City
is
of
being recorded.
Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Bellinger?
Noah Bellinger here. City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Weiss? Rhines?
Here, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Gilroy?
Here, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Smith?
Here, City of Williamston, Ingham County, Michigan.
Just so you know that I did receive a text from Councilman Weiss. He is unfortunately unable to make it this evening. So if anybody would like to offer up an excused absence.
Motion to excuse Councilman Weiss.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll for the excusal of Councilman Weiss?
I have a dog barking here. Pratt?
Yes.
Bellinger?
Yes.
Rhines?
Yes.
Gilroy?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Lanyon?
Yes.
All right, and we'll go ahead. I'm looking for an approval of the agenda unless there's any changes that need to be brought forward.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Rhines.
Thank you.
Second, Smith.
Thank. Can I have a roll call for approval?
Pratt?
Yes.
Bellinger?
Yes.
Weiss? Oh, sorry. Rhines?
Yes.
Gilroy?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Lanyon?
Yes.
All right, now this is the time for audience participation. Holly, do we have anybody joining us this evening?
We do not.
All right. Moving right ahead, we have the council meeting minutes of January 25th, 2021. I'm looking for an approval unless there's changes that need to be made.
Lanyon moves to approve the council meeting minutes of January 25th, 2021.
Thank you.
Support Bellinger.
Thank you. Barb, can I have a roll for the council meeting minutes?
Bellinger?
Yes.
Weiss? Rhines?
Yes.
Gilroy?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Lanyon?
Yes.
Pratt?
Yes.
All right, moving along, we have accounts payable. Noah, did you have an opportunity to review accounts payable?
Yes, I did. And I only have one question, but I'll make a motion first. I want to make a motion to approve checks 74009 dated 1/22 of 2021 to 74045 dated 1/29/2021 and ACH 76 through 81 in the total amount of $197,618.01.
Do we have support? Thank you. Noah, what is
And then
your
Rachel, I
question?
have one question. It's check number 740025. On the accounts receivable, it said U.S. Bank agent fee 500, but didn't have a lot of explanation after that. So could you enlighten me on what an agent does for $500?
So this is an annual fee, and basically it's so that they safe keep the funds for the bonds.
Okay. I would assume it was something like that, but it didn't have any notation for it.
All right, we have a motion and a support. Are there any other questions regarding accounts payable for this evening? All right, Barb, will you call the roll for accounts payable?
Bellinger. Bellinger.
Noah
Rhines.
can,
Yeah, I didn't hear, but I'm okay. Yes, for me.
Rhines.
Yes.
Gilroy.
yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, moving along, we are at our action items for this evening. The first is our bond refunding ordinance, and we have a memo from Rachel, so I'll go ahead and turn this over to Rachel.
I just got an email from Andy Campbell from Baker Tilly, our municipal advisor, and he has another meeting that's run over. And so he said he can join after that meeting's over, or if you'd like, I can go forward and answer questions that I'm able to. And Corey, I'm sure you can jump in if need be, or we can postpone this until he's available. It's completely up to council.
Council, would you like to postpone until we have him available for questions, or do you feel that there was enough information that we could move on this action item as it stands?
I'm good. We got Rachel.
Good with
Okay.
it.
All right. Okay. Rachel, if you want to go ahead and just give us a little, 30,000 foot view of the motions that are being put forward.
Sure. So what's really exciting is you may recall about a month ago, maybe a little more, you approved for us to go out to bids to refund these 2004 and 2000 water revenue bonds. We went ahead and did that. We got the bids back last week, and Andy's coming on right now.
Great.
And the results were very favorable. We're really excited to present that. I believe it was Huron Community Bank bid the lowest bid at 1.35%, which we were paying between 4.25% and 5% currently. And so when we refund it, that's going to be a net savings of approximately $110,000 over the life of the bonds. Andy, I was just starting to give them a 30,000 foot view of what's going on here. So.
Yep, appreciate it. Sorry I'm a little late. I had another meeting that I had to attend to, but and again, Andy Campbell with Baker Tilly. I work with Tom Traciak. So we sold the bonds, and forgive me if I'm kind of saying things twice here, but Huron Community Bank was the winner. And just as a side note, Huron Community Bank operates out of the Thumb area, and for some reason or another, they are going around buying everybody's debt in the state. So they have won, I would guess, in the past 2 years, probably about 75% of our RFPs. For some reason, banks run really hot and cold on this, to be honest. I mean, when I first started, it was a bank called Hastings City Bank that was really buying up everything. They got changed over, bought out, and they're now called High Point Community Bank. But then it was BB&T out of North Carolina, which is actually a really big bank, but they're not up here, but they were buying Michigan debt left and right for 2 years. Now, for some reason, Huron Community is coming into play and wanting to give, they're giving really good rates, to be honest. I always tell communities, like, I'm not sure I would lock in 15 years at 1% for my portfolio, but for a bank, it might be good for them. So we'll take it. In the end, I appreciate, we did actually look at this a few years ago. It wasn't really that great of savings. And the good thing is that with what's happening in the world with the pandemic and such, interest rates have bottomed out just tremendously. So we hit a good time in the market. I appreciate Rachel and Corey bringing this to us and kind of making us look at this again. And we went out to the market, and in the end, you're going to save a good amount of money, really just adopting an ordinance and doing some paperwork and sending your payments to a different bank. So it really is going to be that simple. 1.35% for this market, and in my world, this is a revenue bond, so it's a little bit different than your traditional bond issue for a city, being that it's only backed by the revenues of the system. But overall, very successful sale. You'll save some money and help out the fund.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Andy, Rachel, or Corey? Or would somebody like to make a motion to move this forward?
I'll make a motion to approve the bond refunding ordinance.
Thank you. Do I have support for that motion?
Second, Ryan.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, Barb, will you call the roll?
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
All right. Our next action item is the 2021 March Board of Review resolutions. There's actually 3 resolutions that we will need to bring forward, and we would need to do these each individually because of the language, correct, Tim? All right. So I will go ahead, and we have Pete here. So I'll go ahead and turn this over, and he can speak to this, and then I'll ask for those motions.
My apologies. Which resolution is first?
Let's see. It looks like the first resolution is to allow the residents of the city to appeal in writing as opposed to appearing because of COVID.
Thank you. This is becoming quite an issue around the state concerning the March Board of Review meeting in person, having a hybrid type of permitting people to appeal, and then doing everything virtually. So in an effort to make sure we have all avenues open to persons that may not want to appear in person, or individuals that may not be able to communicate via the Zoom or another medium, or have problems communicating in that capacity, we thought it best to open up all options. Currently, non-residents, commercial, industrial, and other classes of property can appeal by letter, but only by resolution can the city allow residents to appeal by letter as well. So our intent right now is, we understand there's some guidance coming from the State Tax Commission, whether we have to be virtual or if we can have some sort of hybrid approach. But for right now, we're just asking that the City Council approve this other option to be out there.
Great. Thanks, Pete. I guess what we could do is, if you'd like to speak to each of those, and then I'll call for a motion. Would that be okay, Pete, with you? The second is the resolution to reestablish criteria for poverty exemptions.
Thank you. This is an annual resolution that that City Council would look at. You're establishing the income criteria for somebody to plead poverty in order not to pay their property taxes. But we also create in there an asset test so that they can't have a certain amount of assets. Somebody could show that their income is only $10,000 a year. However, they have a $500,000 house and a Ferrari. Then we would look at that as being something of an asset that they could sell in order to pay their property taxes. So this is annual. We use the federal guidelines. The reason we use the federal guidelines is we want to explain why we don't want to explain why we didn't use the federal guidelines. We feel that's the basis of support there.
All right. And then the third resolution, Pete, is the resolution permit property exemption renewal without reapplication for certain persons.
This is a recent legislative action that allows persons that apply for poverty during this year for future years, those individuals would not need to provide all the information such as utility bills, bank statements, etc. They would just fill out one document saying they're still the principal residents of the property and everything still stands. This was implemented, I believe, because of larger communities that may get 10, 15, 20 of these. We have one individual in the city of Williamston since we've been here that has claimed poverty. We have sat down with that individual every year and worked through the forms. We do not see this as a necessity for the city of Williamston at this time. And if we hope we never have a overwhelming amount of poverty requests, that we would need this.
Great. Thank you, Pete. So council, the order of the resolutions in the packet, the first resolution is actually on 8B, page 11. So we'll start with that. If somebody would like to make that motion.
Lanyon, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 1. Resolution to authorize a resident taxpayer to file a protest before the March Board of Review by letter without a personal appearance.
Thank you. Do I have support for that?
Second, Pratt.
Thank you. If there's no discussion or questions, Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes. And the second resolution is page 8B, page 2.
I make a resolution to adopt the poverty exemption eligibility requirements, income standard, asset test, and application for 2021. Rhines.
Thank you. Thank you. Do I have support for that?
Support Bellinger.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
The third resolution is page 8B, page 5.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 3, which is a resolution to permit poverty exemption renewal without reapplication for certain persons. Smith.
Thank you. Do I have support for that?
Support Bellinger.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger, Bellinger,
Yes.
All right.
Rhines,
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. And Pete, thanks so much for being here and being able to speak to all of those. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next action item is the appointment of council member to EDC TIFA. Brandon, I'd like to go ahead and appoint you to that role. I know that you're stepping down from Planning Commission. We do have Jean that has been the council member. And so this would give you an opportunity to be on another very important board in the city. Dan would be your backup. So would you be willing to fill that appointment?
Absolutely. It would be my honor.
All right. Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. So with that being said, Brandon Lanyon to be appointed to the EDC TIFA seat. We have to call a roll on that, correct, Holly? So could somebody make a motion for that and then a support?
So moved.
Thank you, Dan.
Ford Smith.
Thank you. Barb, will you call that roll, please?
Lanyon,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right, our final action item for this evening is the MERS defined contribution addendum. Rachel.
This might all look very familiar to you since back in December, you all adopted these plan addendums for all 6 different MERS plans that the city has. And then we went and hired a new police chief and had to amend it again. So
All right.
thanks, Jim. No, just kidding. And so that's basically what's in front of you. It's just you all agreed to his contract and the terms. Now we have to take it another step and have proof to MERS that we want to change that plan, and this action will do that.
All right. Does anybody have any questions regarding this? All right, I'm looking for a motion to move that forward then.
I'll make a motion to approve the defined contribution plan adoption agreement and the addendum for the police chief, division 33100011060094, and authorize Rachel Piner, city treasurer, to execute the documents. Smith.
Great. Thank you very much. Do I have support for that motion?
Support.
Support, Pratt.
Well, either
All
way.
right. Both of you. All right. Thank you very much. If nobody has any questions, I will go ahead and ask Barb to call the roll for this final action item.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. We do not have any discussion items for this evening, and moving along to correspondence received, information only. We did receive a Public Service Commission notice that you can all take the time to read. But one thing I would like to point out is that we would like to recognize our city treasurer on earning her accreditation with the Michigan, it's the Certified Public Funds Investment Manager certification. Rachel, congratulations on that. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's a certification that the National Association of Public Treasurers in the U.S. and Canada, that's the organization that it's basically the National Treasurers Association. They have a number of certifications that treasurers can go for. I currently have the advanced CPFA, which is the Certified Public Fund Financial Administrator, And then I just recently, with COVID, I've been able to jump on webinars instead of having to go to their national conference to take certifications. You can actually do those online. And I took a 6-hour class and then had a test the next day. It's the first test I've done since college. So, I did a little study in the night before, and so I passed, and now I have the CPFIM certification.
Well, great. Congratulations. Thank you so much for continuing with professional development, because not only does it benefit you, but it benefits the city and the community. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Moving right along, we have our department head reports. We have Corey's memo here, so I'll go ahead and turn that over to Corey so that he can add on anything.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple quick things. I do want to just formally welcome Chief Wolf. I'm glad he's on the Zoom call tonight. Chief is a week into the job and has really hit the ground running and done a tremendous job here with 5+ days under his belt. So glad for him to be here. Want to thank Rachel for pursuing this bond refunding and congratulate her on seeing through a successful bond refunding. A couple more steps to go. But frankly, when that news came in last week, I think both of us were jumping for joy, and it would not have happened if Rachel didn't pursue the idea and follow through on it. So that was big and impactful for our water fund, and just want to thank Rachel for that. Lastly, speaking of water, I had sent council a brief email last week about a water main break that resulted in a boil water notice on Leisha Street. Just want to follow up on that. That is now subsided. We had to do 2 straight days of testing, and Scott DeVries, our city engineer, delivered the notices over there today that has been lifted. So we're all good there. We did have another water main break with the cold weather on Georgia Street that popped up yesterday. They were able to keep water on, with slightly reduced pressure, and got it fixed this morning. So, that's 2 within the last 7 days. I'll knock on wood now and hope that we get through these next couple days without anything. But just want to thank those folks with Department of Public Works. It's been a wild couple days here between the snow and the water main breaks, and it's snowing again right now. So, my thanks go out to the DPW crew.
Great. Thank you so much, Corey. And we know that they work awfully hard getting those water mains fixed, because it's not just an easy fix. It's time consuming and getting it done correctly. And so I appreciate their hard efforts. And so now for his first department head report, I'm going to ask Chief Wolf. Do you have anything to report?
What was I supposed to say? Nothing to report?
Yeah, right.
Oh, no.
But we'd really like to hear about your first week.
It went great.
Good.
It's just fun being back in the community, running into people that I know. And a day has not gone by yet where I haven't run into somebody that I knew, which is really fun to make those old connections. So it's going good. As you know, we were down 1 officer. I am actively working on that. I'm cautious to use the word steal, but acquire them from another department. As a part-time officer out of Fowlerville, I've talked to the chief, good friend of mine. He says he's a good officer. I'd hate to lose him, so we're kind of starting the background. We are starting the background on him, and he's going to come in for a ride along this week with Officer Pentar and see if he's a good fit and a good fit for us and a good fit for him. So we're moving in that direction to try to get fully staffed.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, we're glad and happy to have you here. And, we look forward to each council meeting when you can come and maybe share with what's going on and your observations in the community and, your reconnecting and everything. So thanks so much for that. Does anybody have anything for Chief? Since this is his first meeting, I'll give you guys an opportunity. All right. I'll move along then.
Thank you.
We have the building report from Livingston County. It looks like there's a lot of activity. You're all able to read through that. If there are any questions, I'd ask that you point those in Corey's direction, and then he can reach out to Livingston and get those answers for us. But it looks like there's a lot of activity going on, especially in the winter months, which I don't know if we typically see. So that's always a good thing. Moving to item 12, we have committee and subcommittee reports. Does anybody want to report on a board meeting that they may have attended in this past month in January? Okay. Holly, did we have anybody join us for audience participation?
No, we did not.
All right, thank you. I'll move along to council member comments, and I'll start with my top corner, Councilman Rhines.
I just want to take a minute to update you on what's going on with Jubilee this year. Some of you may have seen Jubilee Committee decided to push the festival back about 6 weeks from what has traditionally been the 3rd full week in June to August 2nd through the 8th this year, talking with a lot of the different stakeholders in town that are a big part of the festival. They were a lot more comfortable going that week, allowing an opportunity for more people to get the vaccine if they so choose for COVID before the festival and different things like that. So we made the decision to move the festival this year. We're looking forward to this. It's being the 50th Jubilee and the sesquicentennial for the town, and we're working really hard to try and make it special and go off without a hitch. We're running into a few different things. A festival that's been in the same dates for 49 years, you don't realize how comfortable it gets for everyone there. So we're looking at things a little differently. The dates aren't, everything's going well, but it's just a little different. You don't think it's going to be a huge, oh, well, you're just changing the date. Well, you're changing the date, and there's got to make everything line up. But it's going well, and we're excited.
Great. Well, we look forward to more updates. Next in that row, I've got Councilman Pratt.
Not much from me tonight other than welcome, Chief Wolf. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you. Councilman Lanyon.
Just want to say thanks everyone for having a good first meeting. I want to especially thank Corey. He was like 3 hours out of his day to sit down and instruct me on everything I needed to know. So I really appreciate that from him. And again, welcome, Chief Wolf. We're glad to have you here.
Councilman Bellinger.
I'd just like to welcome Chief, and then no other comments at this point. So thank you. Welcome,
Okay.
Chief.
Thank you. Councilman Smith.
Yeah, I'll jump on that wagon and say welcome, Chief. But I also want to piggyback on kind of what Corey touched on. Rachel, you really went above and beyond with this bond thing. It'd be so easy for you to sit and do your job and not go above and beyond and do all that extra work and extra effort. But you did, and you did an amazing job and to the, great benefit of the city. And so seriously, thank you.
Thank you, council members. My comments for the evening, again, echoing that we're just so excited to have Chief Wolf here in the community and see where he takes the police department and the future of that. I think it's very exciting when we have changes like that, because it means that our community is growing. And thank you, Corey, for just really tackling that. This was your first big hire as far as a department head. And I know those things can be overwhelming, but you did an amazing job. It was very organic. You brought in all the right stakeholders to be able to help, find that next leader for our community. So I appreciate that. Rachel, thank you so much for your efforts, for your accreditation. And that's a huge savings to the city. I don't know if anybody really caught that, but that's over $100,000 in savings. That's really big, and we'll see that. And it's good to be able, as council members, to get out in the community and be able to say, this is what we're doing to try to, save money and move in the right direction. I think everything that we do, we always think about that is how can we benefit the city and benefit the residents and those tax dollars that they're paying. So I appreciate that. And, our staff has been great. We're coming up on almost a year of working remotely. I can't say enough about our staff with Holly, Barb, Ann, Rachel, having to switch gears, work remotely, alternate who's in City Hall to make sure that we're still servicing our residents on a face-to-face as needed basis by appointment, to our DPW staff that has been out there working in the community, taking those precautions to make sure that we are following protocol. This has really been a transformative year, I think, for everybody in their daily lives and certainly for us as a community. So I just, as we're coming up on that 1 year, I think we just need to pause and recognize that we have all done a great job making sure that this community keeps moving forward. And so, I'm very proud of the staff that we have and how we all interact out in the community with residents and businesses. And we've still got 2 more businesses that are working so hard to open with Zinda's and Cancun Grill. And that's even, an amazing thing when you look at it, to be able to survive in a pandemic when a lot of businesses have had to shutter and close doors. We have not seen that here. And so that's a real testament to the support that our residents give this community to make sure that we all are staying, that they're staying on their feet. So I appreciate that as mayor and looking out and seeing what's happening. At this time, I would like to ask for a motion for us to be able to move into closed session. So if someone would like to make a motion and a support so we can go ahead and keep moving business forward.
Motion to go into closed session, Smith.
Thank you.
Second, Lanyon.
Thank you. Barb, will you call a roll for that closed session?
You're going to need to, excuse me, you'll need to recite the ground.
Recite. Okay. Jean, could you amend that and recite?
Oh,
closed session?
Yep. Amending my motion to go into closed session to, to consult with legal counsel regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with Michigan Tax Tribunal case number 20-003669-TT Centurion Medical Products versus City of Williamston pursuant to MCL 15.268E.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. And we still had support from...
Yep, I second his amended motion.
Thank you, Brandon. Barb, will you call the roll for this?
Smith,
Oh, yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
All right. If everybody would join room 1, please, that is going into closed session.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
Unmute. Hi, we're back into open session. And now I'm looking for a motion to take action on our items discussed.
If you want assistance in the phrasing of the motion, I would recommend that you have a motion to direct the attorneys and staff to proceed as recommended by attorneys and staff in the closed session.
Thank you, Attorney Perone. I'm looking for a council member to make that motion. So moved, Rhines. All right, thank you. Do I have support?
Seconded, Smith.
Thank you. Barb, will you call the roll, please?
Pratt,
Yes.
Bellinger,
Yes. Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon. Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, council members. Thank you, attorneys. Appreciate it so much for being present. Just one final thing. We are experiencing snow this evening. It looks like it's going to continue on through midnight. Please remember that it is a responsibility to clear sidewalks, and remember that there is no parking on the street between 2 and 5 a.m. so that our DPW can get out there to do cleanings. And with that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Lanyon moves to adjourn.
Thank you. Support for that.
Rhines.
Thank you. All those in, or Holly or Barb, would you like to call roll for adjournment?
Bellinger,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Everybody have a good evening. Drive safe if you're going anywhere.
The recording has stopped.